Now, we'll be taking a closer look at that story and others a little bit later on. But first, President Cyril Ramaphosa is attending a SADC Troika meeting in Ethiopia. And for more, we're now joined there live by Coletta Wanjohi, who's our correspondent in Addis Ababa. Coletta, thanks very much for joining us. Give us an update on what has happened today.
Well, as we're speaking now, the presidents are in a closed-door meeting. They opened up their meeting about an hour ago, but much earlier there was an internal consultation between among the SADC member states at ministerial level, and much later at presidential or high level. And at the end of the day, during the opening session, we had the president of Rwanda, who is also the African Union chairperson, African Union president, speaking out and saying that the meeting about DRC could not have been held at a much opportune time, because he says much as the issues in the DRC, especially with the contestation of elections, are raising tension within the country, the people of DRC expect the African continent and African member states to assist them. And he has also mentioned out and he also spoke very sternly about the issue of interference. He says especially foreign countries and foreign parties should not interfere in in the issues of the DRC. Rather, it should be left to the DRC through its constitutional court to sort out the issues, and if need be, let the African member states interfere and not foreign countries.
All right, so that was the DRC, but also playing out this week, of course, is Zimbabwe. Was that even mentioned, or is that's likely to be being discussed in this closed-door meeting at the moment?
Well, during the opening session, they did not mention Zimbabwe. They all talked about the African Union chairperson, Musa Muhammad Faki, and the president of the African Union, Rwanda, President Paul Kagame, only talked about the DRC. And they made it, during their opening statements, they made it an issue that DRC was the agenda why they came here today. However, we don't dismiss the fact that the aspect of Zimbabwe could be slipped into the agenda during the closed-door meeting, because it is happening, and it's the SADC countries that are affected by the issue in Zimbabwe, and now the fact that they are all here, then they would as well just discuss it while here.
And no doubt Kenya will be high on the agenda, as regional terrorism threats is a big concern for the continent.
Yeah, definitely, because right now the meeting that is happening is between the SADC countries, where the issue of DRC and Zimbabwe fall, and we also have the Great Lakes region where Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania also fall. So the issue of terrorism, the fact that it just happened a few days ago, still fresh in the minds of the people, and still an issue, especially for the African Union that has troops in Somalia, and also for the African Union that is talking about combating terrorism. So this also might be an issue into the agenda. The Foreign Affairs Minister of Kenya, Juma, is here with a full delegation from the Republic of Kenya, and also Kenya might have to take the advantage of the fact that we have heads of state around here to air out their situation and explain what happened in Nairobi, and also probably ask for assistance if it needs any. And we might also see the East African countries probably having bilateral meetings on the sidelines and talking about the issue in Nairobi.
So typically what happens after a meeting such as this? Is a resolution passed, a statement issued? What can we expect coming out of this Troika, Coletta?
Well, nothing tangible. We might not see, there has been speculation that maybe we might see boots on the ground being sent from the African Union into the DRC and all that. No, we are all just going to be seeing diplomatic missions maybe going into the DRC, a lot of diplomatic talk happening from the level of the African Union and the level of the regional economic blocs, in this case, the SADC and the Great Lakes region. We're just bound to see all these countries talking with one voice, and that will be the DRC should follow the legal requirements as far as conflict resolution is concerned, and at the same time also appealing for peace into the DRC. And the fact that the African Union, and this meeting is happening at the African Union, and the voice against, we've seen already one voice against, a strong voice against political interference from foreign parties. We're bound to see this talk continuing throughout as DRC continues to sort its own political or internal crisis. But at the end of the day, the countries that border DRC with Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania and all that might also have their own meeting and decide what should happen just in case things go the other side in the DRC. But all we are going to see is a diplomatic talk and probably missions at a high level.
All right, so that's where we're going to leave it for the time being. Hopefully we'll be able to cross to you again a little bit later on to get a further update if anything does come out of that meeting. That was our correspondent in Addis Ababa, Coletta Wanjohi.